morning everyone. My name is Laura Stranks and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here in Brisbane, Queensland, Australia. Thanks for joining me this morning. It's 9 a.m. on a Monday morning and this is my YouTube for today. This one is called a 3-point crossover card, hence the 3 points down the bottom here. Quite a simple card to do, so it won't take too long today. I'll let you know as we go the pieces that I've used, the DSP and the cardstock and dies and everything. So we won't take too long to start. I'll just mention my couple of groups here. My Facebook group is Laura's Craft Room Tips and Tutorials. If you'd like to join that, just look it up in the search bar and it'll come up for you. There is a couple of questions on there that you need to answer before I approve them. It's one is agreeing to the rules and the other one just a simple question of why you'd like to join my group. So if you make sure you answer those, I don't think I've disallowed anyone yet. There is a couple I think that were not welcome, but anyway, that's another matter. My YouTube channel today is Creative Gems. If you'd like to see more of my videos, just hit the subscribe button, and in there's a little bell. If you hit that, it'll notify you each time I do a video. And my Facebook page is called Cards by Laura. I put all my samples of cards in there that I've made. In my Facebook group, Laura's Craft Room Tips and Tutorials, I do add, there's the files section in there where all the PDFs for my YouTube cards are in. So if you want to hop in there, you'll find the measurements and everything there and the instructions of how to create your cards. So we shall get started. I do have the measurements. This is the one I did as a sample. It's in Garden Green and this is Berry Burst. It's a soft shimmer. I can't remember. I've used it again today. This is a different one. This one I'm going to use today is the 2325 in colour luster specialty paper, but the one that I did use, I'll just get it out and show you. It's got not sure where I put it now. That's okay. I'll let you know as we go. That's the white centre one, and there is another one, but I'm not sure where I have put it. It's in the annual catalogue in with the specialty papers. You'll find it in there. There's a few different colours. So we'll get started. I've typed up my measurements as usual, so you can either do a screenshot, but these will be in the description of the video when you go in there. And that also the entire PDF with the instructions and all is in my Craft Room Tips and Tutorials group in the files section. So we'll get started. I'm doing a totally different colour one today. We've got Misty Moonlight and the Boho Blue colours. And the DSP that I'm using is this Countryside In DSP, which is this one here. Most of you would have seen it by now. All my pieces, I'll just get them here. We've got our base piece, and there will be a bit of cutting to do in a minute. My base piece is in the Misty Moonlight, and it's 29 cent. All this, the measurements today, I'm doing in centimetres. I've decided to swap a few over from inches to centimetres. 29 centimetres by 11 centimetres, and it's just scored in half at the halfway mark on the long side. So that's your base. My DSP for the lower section, which is down the bottom here, which we're going to cut eventually. I'll show you how to do that. It's a square piece, 9.5 by 9.5. The top mat, which is in the Boho Blue, and that's in that shimmer that I just showed you a minute ago in the 2225 in colour luster paper. Luster specialty paper. It's in there. It's got a nice shine to it. Don't know if you can see that. It's 10.5 by 3.8, and then the DSP on the top of that is 10 centimetres by 3.3. That'll go on the top of there. This one here I did the same pattern all the way across, but this one here I'm changing it a little bit, doing a reverse pattern on this one. We've done that one. Inside white is, the matte first is, I've done the shimmer again, 13.8 by 10.5. I could have cut this first shimmer, I know I didn't think of it until after, I could have cut that out of the centre of that instead of, because this is going to get covered with the DSP. So if ever you're doing one and you can get a piece out of the centre, because that will get covered, cut it out of the centre of that. It's not too difficult. If you just get a die and cut out a big section of it, and then cut your smaller piece out of that. And then the inside basic white, which I've already put a strip on, that's 13.3 by 10 centimetres. That will go inside there, and that's there. This piece, not sure what that piece is for now. I'll work it out in a minute. I did cut another piece, but I'm not sure what I'm using it for, but we'll work that out. It could be spare from something else actually. So that's it. I'll put that away and we shall get started. Now the first thing you need to do is you need a pencil and a ruler. I'm just going to burnish this. And a pencil and a ruler, and I'll just get my measurements here. Down from this top score line here in the centre, you're going to go down 4 centimetres. So I'm just putting my ruler there on, actually I'll keep it folded because then you can see where the fold line is. So I'm going down 4 centimetres and putting a little mark, just a tiny pencil mark. You can rub it out later. And on the other side as well, down 4 centimetres and do a little mark. Then you're going to do across the centre of this at the bottom, and it is 5.5 centimetres. The width of this was 11 centimetres width, so halfway is 5.5, which is there, 5.5. And you're just going to cut, I'll get my trimmer out in a minute, cut from that pencil line down to the centre on both sides. And I'll just get this out. So just line this up in your track. I'll just do my pencil mark a little bit darker so I can see it. There. And there you can rub the pencil lines out. So that point there where the pencil mark is in the track, and this point down here, just keep adjusting it around until you get them both exactly in the track, and we can cut. That goes off that one, and the same on this side, from this point here down to the centre, and cut. I'd have to move that down a fraction, down to there, and cut. Make sure it's cut perfectly even, so your card's nice and straight. And now I've kept these, I keep them where they come out because it does make a difference. Sometimes you cut a little bit out and it doesn't fit back in the other side, so keep them together like so. But I am going to rub out my pencil marks before I go any further, and this centre one down here. So that's fine with that. Now we need to cut our mats, this DSP. I didn't put a mat on this, it's just the DSP straight onto the base. And we need to mark the centre, the lower section of this. Now it's 3 point, whatever it was, square, sorry, 9.5 by 9.5. I'll use my other ruler, it's easier to see. I need it at 4.75, which is an odd figure, but it does work like this. So 4.5 is there, 6, 7 and a half mark. It's pretty close. 4.5, 4.6, 4.7, 4.75 is right there. So that's halfway. Now we're going to cut from that point up there down to there, and that pencil mark there up to the point up there. We'll do that again with the trimmer. So this time you're just putting the top point in the track and the pencil mark where you've marked halfway in the track, and cut that one off. That will be on that side, and the same with this way. When you do cut these off, make sure the center one is the right shape, because it's a triangle and sometimes it's not exactly even on all sides. That's going to go up in there. So I just keep putting them where they belong, try and keep them in order. And the next is the easy bit. Now I'll just put those aside like that so they stay in the right order. Now we need to mark this again. I've cut that. Adhere 3 pieces of DSP to the cord and cardstock, cut off sections of the card. So we're going to cut, we need to measure again. We're going to adhere these down first so they don't end up out of place. I'll just use my multi-purpose glue. I should have my silicone mats outside. I've got a workshop coming up and most of my equipment's outside. I didn't think to bring it in, but that's okay. We'll just be careful and don't put glue on our grid paper. So this one, you just need to wiggle it around a little bit, and you've got a little border all the way around on that one. And that one will go on there. Just move that up a little bit. When you cut triangles, they don't always end up the correct shape that you want, but they'll be close. You won't notice it. So, and we can put this piece on as well up that way. And that will slot down into that section down there. Be up a fraction. So it's reasonably even all the way around. It tends to be wider at the top here, but there's no way of correcting that, but it's not too noticeable. Now, this is the bit that I was talking about from further down. Pencil mark each side from the base up at the 4 centimetre mark. So we're going to measure here 4 centimetres up to there, put a pencil mark, and 4 centimetres up from here, put a pencil mark. So that's roughly where that point is going to sit. Now we need to go across the bottom here, and it goes across to 3.7 from each side. So we've got 3.7567, which is there. I'll just line that up a little bit better. I'll just rub that out. It was a little bit off there. It'll be noticeable if you don't get it straight here. So we're across 3.7 at the bottom, 3.567 is there, and 3.7 over that side is there. So that's your guide where your pieces are going to sit. Put that aside for a sec. So if all you're going to do is tilt this like so, that point there will line up with that pencil mark there, and this point here will line up with that pencil mark there. It'll sit pretty much on top of the pencil marks. Make sure they're not hanging out the side or down the bottom. And what I did, I just flipped, I think it was. No, we didn't flip. I think I did it the opposite. So we sort of need to get the back so you know where to put your glue. I'm just going to roughly estimate across there, but you don't want it right up to the point because the point's going right up above that top section there. So I'm just going to put some adhesive on that inside those two pencil lines. You just sort of roughly estimating. If you flip it over, it's the reverse, so you don't want it flipped. It doesn't work that way. So, but just make sure that this is lined up correctly at the bottom before you drop it down on your glue with your glue. Line that up there and that up at the side. Tilt it a little bit if it doesn't fit. And that will go up like so. Stick that one down, and then this one will be exactly the same. So that will sit there, and that one will sit up the side mark there. And we're going to go from roughly from there up and just leave a bit at the top. So you can go fair way up with the top point. Where was I? There. I'll go up a little bit higher with the glue at the top and just to there. You just don't want glue where you don't need it to be. This one can probably go down a little bit further. And don't drop it down until you have it in place. Like so. I'm just going to have a mouthful of water. Just move that a fraction. And then you can rub out those pencil lines on that piece. And that is how you get your 3-point crossover. And then that top section, I'll just put the mat with the DSP. And I've done some decoration. I've used my Stylish Shapes dies, the circles, for my greeting. I've done a double layer on that, a mat at the back of the greeting. And I've also used the Paper Florist dies. They're a standalone set of dies that make lots and lots of really nice flowers. So I've sort of decorated this one a little bit different. And that will go up in there. You can always put this piece on first to give you a bit of a guide where your pieces need to go. But either way, it works. Doing your cross bits first, and then this just tucks in underneath the points. I'll slide that under there. And it's got an even border all the way around. That one's sort of tucked in under there now. That's it. Like so. And I can do the inside piece as well. I've just put the DSP along the top because when you close it, you don't see it so much then. It wouldn't matter actually. I'll just have a look, see what it looks like. It looks quite nice down the bottom too. I might do it down the bottom, and then you've got more room at the top to do your writing. When you do your writing for your greeting, I would try and keep it inside so it's not poking out and affecting the look of your front of your card. I will put the DSP down the bottom because it looks nice across. It tones in with the crossover pieces. But it's up to you how you decorate your inside. I'll put this on the mat first. Like so. This shimmery paper, it's really nice. There's all the in colours. They're quite pretty. And then we'll stick this one down. And then it's just a matter of decorating. Beautiful weather here today. Nice sunshine. Started out a bit showery, but it's nice now. So that's that one. And I did put the DSP to the bottom. I think it looks quite nice down there. It sort of sets it off at the front. Then our decorations, which I've prepped them as well. And I've got them in a little jar there. They're stylish shaped circles, dies. I've got that size one and that one. I think they're about the second or third one down from the biggest one, those two. And then I've just used this, I cut 3 of them, 3 flowers out of the luster paper. And my greeting has got the specialty paper behind with the happy birthday, which I got from this inked and tiled stamp set in there. And I just put some gems on the gems are, oh, there's other silicone mat. I did have one there. They're the Tinsel Gems 3-pack. There's Misty Moonlight, the colour of these. They were a little bit darker, so they stood out. And I've put a couple, one's come off there. I'll just pick that one up. One's tipped over here, and it belongs on this one here. I think sticking on the luster paper, it probably needs a little bit more stick underneath it. Maybe a glue dot or some multi-purpose glue. They don't stick so well on the luster paper. That one's going to not play the game. Doesn't want to sit there. We'll just keep playing until we get it to sit. It's got it. So what I was going to do is just put these 3 up the top here, and I'm going to put that in the centre. That's the die out of the Paper Florist dies. There's quite a few dies in that set, all different flower shapes, so it's really worth getting. It's a standalone set. Doesn't have a stamp set that goes with it. Now I'm going to put these on with glue dots, which I've lost my pick tool. I'm not sure where it went to, but I'll use these. Try and keep it inside the perimeter of the card so it's not sticking out too much. Do the 2 outside ones first so they get them centered, and then one in the center. And I've put three little embellishments in the centers just to pretty it up a bit. I don't normally use that many embellishments. And then this here I'm going to put up on dimensionals as well. Just a couple in the middle. And we're almost done. Center that in there. And that's my card for today. It's nice and quick. Just follow the measurements on my PDF and you won't go wrong. I'm going to shimmer spray that later. I'll put a photo into the PDF as well. Thanks for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed that one and hope you give it a go. And don't forget, if you wish to join my group, it doesn't cost you anything. It doesn't cost you anything for the YouTube channel either. Just hop on and subscribe. And I shall catch you all again next week. Have a lovely week. Bye for now.